And we are live. Hey, everybody, this is Roberto Blake, helping you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got another amazing show for you. We're going to be covering the new YouTube monetization updates. We're going to be telling you how to get monetized. YouTube did an update to the YouTube Partner Program monetization. So now, if you are a content creator on YouTube, instead of the typical 4,000 watch hours for full monetization or 10 million views in 90 days, they've actually changed those requirements. So we're going to be talking about that and tell you how to meet the 8,000 watch hours for long form and the 20 million views in 90 days required for short form. We're also going to cover some other parts of those updates, but there's actually a new announcement from YouTube we need to cover pretty much immediately. So they've actually decided to update how they handle public view counts. So we're going to be covering that here as well. And this one, I'm going to make a dedicated video about. It'll probably be less than a 6-minute video to cover some of the implications, but this is a breaking update. This was announced earlier today, and I've been doing my research on this. So they're going to be changing how they address public view counts. Now, the thing you need to know about this before I read the full announcement is this is not going to affect your watch time, and this is not going to affect the engaged views that you need for shorts monetization. So do not worry about that. This will only affect your public view counts and just changes the way that YouTube's always counted views. Now, for long form, typically YouTube counted views that went longer than about roughly a minimum of 3 seconds for long form. They've stopped doing that. They did something similar for short form. They, for short form, counted it much closer to the way TikTok does. So first frame was what counted as a view for short form for the last year or so. And now they're going to be doing that for long form and live streams as well. So you're going to see your public view numbers go up. If you want to know your true view numbers that don't feel potentially inflated, you're going to need to go to YouTube's advanced analytics and look for the engaged views metric if you want to worry about that. But what the public will see, what your brand partners will see, is they will see the higher view counts that count the first frame from the video playing. So that's what's going to count as a view from now on. So be prepared for that. This is going to definitely make a lot of people happy in some ways because they're not going to give up. This change is going to happen before the end of August here. So very soon, next week, in fact, 1 week from today, Monday, the 17th. So this is something that I think is a positive change, even though it doesn't affect creator monetization directly. This will make some people very happy with regard to their brand deal negotiations. This will, if some people are concerned that, oh, well, people don't watch my videos because they think nobody is watching or they don't think I'm getting views. Some of you who feel that way, I don't really feel it works that way anymore on YouTube. I think that it really comes down to, do people like this video or not? I don't think anyone other than 13-year-olds really care about whether a video has a bunch of views if it's not already viral. And most people, frankly, they just watch viral videos. I think it's rather silly. You should watch what you like and not care whether other people like it. But yeah, this is a mostly positive change. And so I'm going to update you, and I'm going to read this for you so that you just get a grasp of it, because sometimes it's just nice to hear it from somebody instead of having to read through it yourself. So, hey everyone. Last year we updated how we count public views for YouTube Shorts to better capture how viewers watch on YouTube. Now we're aligning all other video formats to this same standard for consistency across the platform. Beginning on 8/24/2026, which is August 24th, 2026, a view will be counted the moment a video begins to play from the very first frame. This standard will now apply globally across all formats. By all formats, they mean YouTube videos, YouTube podcast, and YouTube live streams, including vertical and horizontal streaming and dual streaming. Historically, we used multiple view counting systems across our different formats. However, we've heard that creators want to eliminate this metric confusion and accurately understand their true exposure, which is why we're making this update. I'm not 1,000% sure that's exactly why they're doing it. Impact on YouTube analytics and performance metrics. We'll keep the original view metric called engaged views in YouTube Analytics advanced mode so creators can see exactly how many viewers chose to watch and continue watching their videos. Impact on monetization. This change will not impact creators' earnings or how they become eligible for the YouTube Partner Program. Creator earnings will continue to be based on engaged shorts views and engaged watch hours, which you can view in YouTube Analytics Advanced mode. There is no change to YPP eligibility, YPP meaning YouTube Partner Program. YouTube Partner Program entry requirements also now will be referred to as qualified shorts views and qualified watch hours, previously called valid public shorts views and valid public watch hours. And again, the number for that will be your engaged shorts views and your engaged watch hours. From August 24th onwards, you'll start to see the new view metric applied wherever views are shown publicly on YouTube, which means creators will likely see their total view counts increase faster moving forward. We hope that having metric parity across all formats gives creators a cleaner picture of their overall exposure and makes it easier to confidently express their true scale and value to brand partners and sponsors. Feel free to check out our Help Center article to learn more about the new views metric. So also a couple of things they're not saying here is, number one, this will not increase the views of your older videos. And I will cover this when I make my very short dedicated video on this that will be 5 or 6 minutes long, covering all these facts. The views on your existing long form videos and your existing live streams will not be bumped up. They will be bumped up going forward for all your videos that exist, but your current view counts will be locked and will stay the same until this change and will be counted the same way they've always been counted. But going forward, all of your old video inventory, if they're watched going forward by viewers, the numbers will increase. And so you'll see some motion, you'll see some traction on that. So that's going to be good. Why do I believe that they're actually doing this? Well, one of the reasons I actually believe they're doing this is, in general, when it comes to choosing between shorts and long form, creators feel very validated by shorts, so they've been picking shorts. Shorts requirements are going to feel very hard for people to make money from shorts. They make money from long form, but people get discouraged by their long form views. They don't feel anyone's watching them. So creators give up, they quit, or they prioritize shorts. This is going to help people prioritize long form and live streams because since they see shorts get so many views, they focus on that. But when they see long form and live streams actually getting more views because they're going to be counted differently, it'll encourage most creators to focus more energy there and not get discouraged and to be more consistent. There may be some viewers, in my opinion, immature viewers, who look at these high view counts and higher view counts and give more creators a chance on their channel if they're unfamiliar with them. So there's a small part of the audience that will do that, I believe. So that does this. Now, in terms of the other thing is, there's going to be deeper metrics, but most YouTube creators don't use YouTube advanced mode. They go off the same public view counts that the brands go off of and that regular viewers go off of. Brands won't even be paying attention to the fact that YouTube changed how they counted views. They're just going to take your views at face value like they always did. They don't go into these deeper analytic metrics. They just look at views and did you get them sales and are the comments being nice to them? And that's the usual thing with brand deals. I actually, in awesomecreatoracademy.com, we help a lot of creators understand brand deals better and how to negotiate. I always tell creators to stop negotiating on views, and views may become a vanity metric here because if this is going to be true and these views are going to go up and be somewhat inflated, views and subscribers are going to become one of the worst metrics, which is fine. It helps creators feel validated, but in terms of raw data, it's not really a useful metric as to whether a video is any good, especially if they're going to be doing it this way. Same thing for subscriber counts. They mean something in terms of gatekeeping. They mean something in terms of access to collaboration. They mean something in terms of brand deals. But this will not affect the algorithm. You won't get more push, quote unquote, just because you see your view counts go up. This doesn't affect your average view duration numbers or anything like that. So this is just a forward-facing metric. This is just a vanity metric now. That's what basically is happening here. The real metrics will be into the advanced analytics. The public facing metrics are truly now just vanity metrics. Everything is performance based on the back end. So that's how I feel about this. But how do you guys feel about this? Um, what are your thoughts when it comes to this change? Do you feel like it's a positive change? Do you feel like it's a negative change? Do you feel it matters at all? Does this change anything for you and how you feel about content going forward? So that's something I want to know from you guys. Let me know in the chat or let me know in the comments, and I'll be answering some of your questions when it comes to that. Because I think that for a lot of creators, the big thing with regard to this is going to be emotional more than it is practical. This is going to be an emotional problem instead of a math problem. Um, I'm neutral on this. This doesn't really affect me that much and it doesn't bother me. I do think one of the interesting things will be that a lot of people will, one, more creators seeing their views go up, they're going to get judged less by the general public, especially when those views do increase. This will have no impact on CPM, by the way. It might feel like it does because you're going to be like, okay, I'm getting all these views. Why is my ad revenue this? But it's not really going to affect in a meaningful way. And in general, I would tell you guys to, in general, YouTube is starting to move away, not from completely, but YouTube itself is heavily diversifying the way it makes money. It's trying to not have all of its money come from ad revenue, and neither should you. You should be diversifying more. I constantly preach that you should be diversifying your revenue as a content creator, and you shouldn't wholly be relying on YouTube. You can repurpose content to so many places to monetize now, and that's something I want to be talking about on these Monetization Monday streams with you. So yes, while people are trying to get to the new monetization requirements, of course, we're going to focus on getting you into the YouTube partner program. We're going to be talking about strategies. We're going to run the math on all of that. And so I totally understand that that's where a lot of people's focus are. And I get exactly why a lot of you care about ad revenue, to get that first check, to get that validation. But the thing is, YouTube itself offers you more ways to monetize than just the ad revenue. And I know it can feel like scary to ask your audience for anything, or, oh, I don't want to monetize my audience, but you're not saving your audience any money when you say, oh, I don't want to monetize your audience. All you're doing is taking money that was earmarked to get spent. And instead of spending it with you, they're spending it on a $1 billion corporation or a big creator that doesn't mind asking for it. Taylor Swift's a whole billionaire and she doesn't mind selling to her audience. Like, she's Taylor Swift. She doesn't need more money per se. She still doesn't mind monetizing her audience. So why are you, being scared to monetize yours? So I just think that creators need to kind of take a step back and really look at, why are you afraid to monetize your audience? They're going to spend that money with somebody. And again, look at all these big creators. Look at these streamers, Kai Cenat, iShowSpeed. They don't mind asking people for donations or to support them. And they don't necessarily need the money more than you do. So I would just start renegotiating that with yourself emotionally. The math isn't mathing on why you're not doing that. Now, with that in mind, one of the things that somebody is asking here is, will this help? Will the extra views get into the partner program? No, they won't help you get into the partner program at all. This is a separate change. But people look at, well, I get paid for my views. That's not changing. The only thing that's changing in terms of the views you get paid for, which are the engaged views, the way YouTube has been counting them before, that's not going to change. It's just that the public number that viewers see is going to change. Now, in terms of your brand deals and your brand deal commitments, and when brands pay for, one, I don't believe that you should ever be charging people in terms of your brands off of your view counts and off of your CPMs. There's a lot of reasons not to do that. There's a lot of reasons not to do that. One of the big reasons to not do view guarantees, one of the reasons not to do view guarantees when it comes to your audience in general and your metrics for your brands, is the fact that platforms like YouTube can change these rules and what counts as a view. So that's like a big one. Even if you're a smaller content creator, don't sell to a brand based on your views. I know that sounds weird. Another thing is, in addition to not doing the view guarantees, don't charge them based on what you think your CPM or RPM is from YouTube. You don't understand why you're getting that CPM or that RPM, revenue per thousand, cost per thousand, and what those advertisers are paying. I worked in traditional advertising before I was a YouTuber, and I've been a YouTuber for a long time. I worked in traditional advertising. My background is that I worked at a web hosting company and I was the head of marketing. And I managed back then, this is like 15 plus years ago. I managed $250,000 a year ad budget just for Google Ads, and I was Google Ads certified. So I was a Google guy working at the company. Not the company Google, but you get what I mean. And what the deal was with this, just so you understand my background and where I'm coming from, and that I really do understand this, is that 250,000 budget in today's money would be like over a 500,000 a year budget. And that was just my Google Ads budget. That's not counting my billboard budget, my media buying budget for local publications in print, billboards, radio, magazine trade publications for the hosting industry, like Modern Domainer and PC Mag and stuff like that, that we were doing those things. So I had a significant budget to manage in terms of real world dollars at the company. At another point in my career, I worked at an ad agency. So I was on the ad side as far as selling. So I've done both sides. I've done the buying and the selling. And so I've done the ad management. Okay. What you need to understand is that YouTube and Google for ads, the CPN and RPM that you're seeing is diluted from what your actual value as a creator is, because it's a bulk buy. They're buying against a crap ton of channels. So they're buying against a crap ton of YouTube channels, and they're also doing what you could call a little bit of a blind auction. And so what I mean by that is it's a bundle and basket of creators and channels and videos that the ads are being bought against based on just what the company needs. So they're getting a bulk buy opportunity. So it's a massive discount. And they're also kind of doing a grab bag. So there's that. Now, ad rates go up when they do target channels or target individual videos. They have to pay a premium for that. Most advertisers don't. And most marketing and advertising folks, not all of them are older like me. I'm 42. A lot of them will be the age I was when I was doing this when I was younger. They'll be in their early or mid 20s, possibly their early 30s. So they often are not going to be the most experienced. So the majority of ad and media buying is done by inexperienced people, usually younger, on the younger side of the industry, and they're doing large bulk buys of media. Okay. So that means that whatever your RPM that YouTube pays you in ad revenue is not how much you, for a dedicated video, should even be charging if you were doing a CPM deal. You shouldn't, because it's diluted. Because a dedicated video where you know what channel you're on, you know what video you're on, is worth a lot more than a grab bag. Think about it like this. If you're buying a pack, if you're buying Pokemon cards, buying an individual Pokemon card and knowing what it is and you want, that's going to cost you a lot more money, sometimes more than buying a random pack. If you buy a random pack, there might be a really cool, really expensive random card in the pack. That's the gamble that you're taking. That's what a gotcha game looks like. Okay. Well, with the advertising, they're like, hey, we do this. We buy a bunch of stuff against a bunch of channels. Something might hit and we might get a bunch of sales. They're hoping that something resonates and they get a bunch of sales. But it comes out cheaper because they're buying a huge swath of ads across multiple YouTube channels and multiple YouTube videos. If they target a channel, target a video, target creator, that price goes up in the auction. Okay. Because there's limited inventory, limited space, premium placement, timing, being at the beginning of a video instead of the end of a video or the middle of a video, so on and so forth. So if you are doing brand deals specifically and you're negotiating, for the love of God, first of all, don't do view guarantees in your contract, number one. Number two, don't do CPM-based pricing deals. I know you're looking for some sweet, easy calculator. Please don't do it, because you already would be at a disadvantage. Because what number are you going to use for that? You're going to use the CPM or RPM from what you're getting paid on YouTube in your niche. That is a diluted value because of the auction and the blind marketplace and the bundle of channels that the ads got sold against. You are probably worth 5x to 10x more on a CPM deal than what your CPM is in YouTube. But it's going to be very hard for you to sell that idea anyway, and you wouldn't necessarily know how to. So I would not do a CPM deal, because you will underprice it and you probably won't meet the threshold requirement because you're at the mercy of the algorithm. Do not leave that to chance. You are better off just getting a price based on a bundle or a package rate of what you want, or asking a brand what their budget is. You're better off with any of those methods and just charging even a flat rate than trying to do a view-based performance rate. I would also advise you that if you can negotiate an affiliate or performance deal for commissions on the sales, even if you have to take a lower upfront price, get that as a way of kind of like balancing out the pricing to get the most money possible from your brand deals. So that's what I'm going to advise more of you to do when it comes to this. And excuse me, I'm just going to adjust the settings here because I feel like the focus is just a little off and I don't like it. So we're just going to try and bump that a little bit. There we go. That feels better. So still can be a little better. Hang on, a little brighter. There we go. So that's kind of the key here. Do not let the views number from YouTube changing how they're counting views with what we just covered in this new YouTube update. Do not let the change to the public facing view counts influence how you negotiate your brand deals based on CPMs or RPMs. Again, I don't agree with that for you. I think this is a general positive change to show that there are people paying attention to your channel, but it's just a vanity metric. I would say that there are a lot more levers you can negotiate on for your brand deals, including the deliverables. Do you have other platforms that you can do amplification and promotion on? Do you have some other leverage? Can you do UGC and bundle that with them? Do you have a newsletter that you can promote to? Are you going to give them some posts and shout outs in the YouTube community tab? What do they want? What do they need? What are their goals for this? So on and so forth. So I would say that there are a lot more ways to there are a lot of ways to negotiate a better brand deal instead of promising and guarantee a minimum amount of views and basing the what you should be paid off of your CPMs or RPMs. Those are not things I recommend. I've coached plenty of creators with brand deals. I actually have room in my schedule. If you want to work with me, you can go to awesomecreatoracademy.com/coaching. You can see how to work with me. I do one-on-one calls with people. If you want to join my Academy Pro group, you can go to awesomecreatoracademy.com/join. I believe the links are in the description. Mods, if you could post those links, that'd be super helpful for the people in the chat. But again, aside from working with me, I also have a masterclass here. It's a 3-4 hour masterclass that I've put on my YouTube channel. It's on my homepage. If you scroll to the start here for UGC and brand deals monetization, I have a almost 4-hour masterclass explaining brand deals, pricing, and negotiation. If you want to start there with some of the basics. A lot of you, your biggest problem might be that you don't know how to price yourself. And the other thing is you probably don't know how to read your contracts. These are things I help creators with all the time. If you are getting brand deals, a little bit of help goes a long way. You probably could be underpricing by 2 to 5 times what your rates should be. I've seen creators, even with 500,000 subscribers, completely just screw themselves over by charging less than half of what they should have been charging. Yep. So, appreciate the compliment. You're too young, Mr. Blake. I'm 42. I mean, I'm like, hey, the fitness journey for the last 100 days has been amazing to me and everything like that. I feel like I'm getting younger every day. I'm actually probably in better shape than I was at 32 now. I'm leaner than I was at 32. Officially now. I'm finally officially leaner than I was at 32. The goal is to be leaner than I was at 25. So another 6 pounds to go there. But that's just a Roberto update there. Now, we have a comment, if not a question here. So Georgie, I think I'm not pronouncing that right, but I think it's Giorgio Tech says, small YouTube creators, the new monetization will make it harder, but it can be done just a little harder before February. So yeah, you have 6 months. And based on the long form monetization, my math is this. What I came up with is, and what I'm helping a lot of you do, is the math is that you need to do 50 to 100 videos, and you would need to get roughly on those videos an average of 1,000 to 2,000 views. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to target getting 100,000 views. Now, with this new change, I would say you're going to want to get 100,000 engaged views. So that's what you're going to measure in your YouTube analytics. Now, why am I telling you to worry about getting views if YouTube's counting watch time? because the 4,000 hours of watch time that you need is 240,000 minutes. It's 240,000 minutes. Okay. 250,000 minutes, let's say, right? So if that's the case, you'll need to get 100,000 views, engaged views that average at least 3 minutes. I would target 3 to 4 minutes of watch time. The average YouTuber, especially a small YouTuber, usually has a 25 to 35% retention rate. Let's just call it 30%. So at about 33%, I would recommend that you make videos that are about a minimum of 10 minutes. I would usually say aim for 12 to 16 minutes. That way, it's not harder to meet the watch time requirements. The other reason you want to do that is if you have videos over 10 minutes, clearly, if you have videos over 10 minutes, usually it's about if you have videos over 8 minutes, but 10 minutes lets you space out your ads more. You get more ad placements. You can put mid-roll ads in. If you put mid-roll ads in a video, you get more monetization when you are monetized on YouTube because you don't just have the ad that comes before the video. You can have mid rolls and you can have post rolls. So you could have, instead of having one ad in a video or two ads in a video, you could have 1, 2, 3, or 4 ads in a video. You'll obviously make more money. People have been known to double the money they make by doing this. So longer videos equal more money. That's why you see big YouTubers do it. It's not just a watch time thing. It's a more ad placement thing. More ad placements, more money. So again, Money Mondays, Monetization Mondays. So, that's what we're doing. So if that's the case, optimizing before we're even monetized means that when we are monetized, we stand to make more money off of the videos we've already made. And so that's the practical advice here. So if you can average 3 to 4 minutes of watch time by making longer videos, aka videos, ideally 12 to 16 minutes long, don't pad them to pad them, just plan the videos accordingly, then you have a better chance of getting those 3 to 4 minutes of average view duration. If you do that and you can get 100,000 views over the 6-month period by doing 50 to 100 videos in that time, and we'll do a version of this for the 8,000 watch hours, and I'm going to make dedicated videos about this. It's a good thing I didn't make these videos already, because now I have to film these videos between today and tomorrow. But now, with the engaged views and YouTube changing the public views, it's a good thing I didn't make those videos because I'd have to correct my information now. Because you see, everyone who rushed out a new how to get monetized video, they don't have the new information that released today. So that means everyone's information, if they jumped the gun the last couple of days or the last week from the previous announcement, the information they've put out is already wrong. It's already outdated. So it's engaged views even for the long form now. And you'll have to see the engaged views in YouTube advanced mode. That information was not public until this morning. It means every video before this morning is already wrong for the most part. It might be directionally correct. So I think that's fair. So what's going to happen is if you get 100,000 views, engaged views, and you have, let's say, 3 minutes average view duration, you have 300,000 minutes of watch time. 4,000 hours is 240,000 minutes. You'll have 60,000 more minutes of watch time than you need, aka you'll have 1,000 more hours of watch time than you need, because that gets you to 5,000 watch hours. So 300,000 minutes is 5,000 watch hours, because you do the math, you divide by 60, and you only needed 4,000 watch hours. So this means you will more than clear the monetization with this method. That's why I did the math. So that's Roberto's formula for exactly how to get the 4,000 watch hours, because you'll have overkill. And that just means you'll get it faster. So that's the method. Now, when this doubles February 1st, 2027 to 8,000 hours, if you don't make it before then, and hopefully with these Monday monetization videos every week, hopefully you'll make it, the goal will have to move to 8,000. For you to get the 8,000 watch hours and more than clear that, we're just going to double up on our outcome here, but we're not going to double up on trying to get more views. We're going to double up on trying to get more watch time. So we're going to make videos in that case where we optimize our watch time outcome to try to get significantly more views. Sorry, rather not significantly more views, excuse me, significantly more average view duration. So in this case, we're going to aim closer to getting about roughly 5 to 6 minutes average view duration. Now, knowing that most of you will struggle with clearing more than 33% of retention, again, in this case, you're going to want to make videos that are much closer to being between, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes. I would say 16 to 20 minutes to be safe. Why? Because again, you're going to get 25 to 35% retention. We're aiming for 5 to 6 minutes average view duration. So you do the math. It's easier to get 5 to 6 minutes average view duration on videos that are going to be between 16 and 20 minutes. So once we do that with our same 100,000 views, averaging 1,000 to 2,000 views per upload, plus having some outliers across our 50 to 100 videos, what's going to happen is you're going to clear, in that case, at 5 minutes, 500,000 watch minutes. Okay. 500,000 watch minutes is going to be significant. If we say 6 minutes average, it's 600,000 watch minutes. So if we do that, you will more than clear the requirements, because as we said, if we double up on the minutes, then you're getting somewhere closer to well above, say, 10,000 watch hours. So you'll more than clear the 8,000. So it just accelerates it. It all is just math at that point. So that's why you're going to want to do it, because this just optimizes you to have overkill for the math. It also compensates for whether YouTube counts your engaged views a certain way, and so on and so forth. So for this is what's going to help you, and you want the overkill just in case you have a couple that miss. So by optimizing for about 20% overkill, we make the cut. So that's how we do it. And it just makes the math cleaner to do the overkill, if I'm being honest. So what else happens is, with making these longer videos, you get significantly better overall ad revenue due to just having more inventory placement opportunities per video. So going forward, you will earn more per video. You have this standard, and you already are making long enough videos, so people aren't going to complain that you're padding your videos for ad revenue, because you started optimized in the first place. So you just plan accordingly. For videos of that length, your scripts are probably going to end up being somewhere just below about, for a 15-minute video, I think it's about 2,500 to 3,000 words. That's not a lot. I wrote a 40,000 word book. I wrote an over 40,000 word book. So again, I don't think that that's a big deal. So for you guys, from a script writing standpoint, for videos of the optimal length here to monetize, which almost no one brings up, you'd want to have a script that's about 2,500 to about 3,000 words as far as your script. What I would say about that is I would break the core of the script up into sections. And so a video structure for around that basically comes out if it's something that involves talking or narrative vlogs, cinematic vlogs that you planned out, something like Life of Riza or whatever, or if it's a tutorial, or if it's a video essay, or if it's a documentary style thing. If it's anything that involves script writing instead of outlines, that's basically the direction you'd go. And you break it up into sections, where each section basically, I would say, should probably just be 300 to 500 word sections. And so you'd break the meat of it up into sections. Some people want to break their video up into thirds. You could do that. That means you're at about 800 to 1,000 words per section of your 3-act story. So that's the way you would go with that. Again, I like breaking up into smaller chunks and then just sectioning that out. I would say even in your 3 acts, you could break up your 3 acts into 3 sections per act to just make the structure stronger, and to increase the tightness of it with value per minute delivered, or energy per minute delivered, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of what I would look at there. I would caution a lot of you, especially when you're first starting out, don't use over editing to try to hack your retention. Don't try to use too much sound design or music early on. You're not good at it. You don't have experience if you're small with these things. It's not about not coming off as a try hard. It's that you haven't built up enough experience to go that direction and try to capitalize on those things. I would say that you should focus much more on your on-camera performance and personality, being a clear and articulate speaker. I would say that production value, it's not the overwhelmingly biggest, most important thing in the world. The phone's production value is high enough, but I would say focusing on little things and learning just a little bit of how to do proper lighting, maybe proper color correction, if not color grading, the visual aesthetic, if that's interesting enough, and then you're got a clear voice, good delivery, that's going to be enough. I would say if you take care of your appearance, that is something that could make or break early exits on a video, abandonment on a video. Let's be real, there is a level of either your personality, charm, smile, charisma, attractiveness. You'd have to be a 10 out of 10 attractive person, but you have to be warm, I would think. I would say that for a lot of you, you have to be warm and you have to be interesting and you have to show that you even care about the video that you're making. There are some nonverbal cues and signals to that. I would say that retention, it's much easier to do if you're good at talking and you dress well, look nice, or at least are in an interesting space. I would say that those things can carry a video far easier than this whole wild, hyper caffeinated editing style that a lot of people like to do for TikTok. For short form, a lot of that stuff makes sense. But even now, IRL content, reality TV style content, very lo-fi. I don't want to say low effort. I want to say content that doesn't feel try hard is doing increasingly well, even with short form. I see what a lot of the lifestyle girlies and travel creators are doing is they're doing the least amount of editing possible on their phone, and the editing is subtle, and it's mostly just jump cuts, if anything, and that's it. And it's more than enough. And what they're doing instead is engrossing the audience in their story and what they're doing and what's happening. I know not all of you are story based content creators. You're not all lifestyle creators. And then some of you aren't doing education and yapping. If your thing is highly visual, then do what you need to do in terms of editing, the B roll, and the hyper visuals. For gamers, I've coached a ton of gamers. I coach gamers every quarter through a different cohort that I have a partnership with a company. I don't know if we're doing it next year. We'll have to see what their budget is. But I'm also going to be doing my own cohorts coming up here. We might do one the end of this year. If not, we'll do it next year for sure. If I do it, it'll be after Vid Summit. But I'm going to be doing creator cohorts very similar to Patty Galloway's Accelerator. This one's going to be very much for serious creators. The pricing is going to be significant for that opportunity. Coaching with me one-on-one is probably initially for at least one call significantly cheaper. And I only bring it up to say that what I've learned in coaching gaming creators in my cohorts is we found that even whether it's short form or long form, people don't need over edited gaming content. In fact, they prefer the opposite. For one thing, if you live stream, we know you're not cheating and we can see whether you're hacking or modding. So that's a big thing in a lot of these communities, especially speed running communities. So less editing is more legitimacy in many cases for people. That's number one. Number two, personality and skill in gaming beats editing. Editing style is not as important of a unique feature as people have made it out to be in the past of YouTube. There was an era of that. The Mr. Beast era for retention editing was a big deal. We've moved to the authenticity era of YouTube once again. So we're in a cycle right now where trust is extremely low, and that the over editing and over polish doesn't build trust. Authenticity, personality, skill, competency, warmth, humor, all of these things are higher trust signals, and high trust is valued now over high effort, ironically. High effort content has its place, but people expect that from creators who are already big. If you're a small to medium sized creator, high trust is more important than high effort content. You do have to do great packaging because that's also part of a trust signal. But there are other trust signals that are far more important than trying to do a very creative editing style, believe it or not. In gaming in particular, understanding and communicating that you understand the community, the culture, and that you are great at truly embracing what the values are of the people playing that game and that you share their same values, that is a much more important trust signal to people. And to know that you're not cheating, you're not doing anything that you're not supposed to be doing in the game, and that you're not making the players that play the game feel like crap, like that's a big deal. And they care more about that than they care about the editing. By far. They care that you're cool to hang out with. They care that you don't make it annoying to be part of the game. Like, the worst thing is to be part of a community and be annoyed by the other members of the community, or to feel like you're in a chat that you don't want to be in, that you have no choice but to be there because it's the only way to express that you like the game or whatever. Like, no one wants to be in a community that sucks. So a high trust creator and a high trust community is infinitely more valuable to a viewer than just seeing crazy edits. They also would rather see crazy feats in the game and feats of skill, and see your skill at the game more than your skills as a video editor. Now, there are some people that will use big creators who are successful as a counter argument for this. And they keep forgetting there's a different set of rules for people who are rich and famous than people who are trying to get discovered. So if you're trying to get discovered, again, trust is going to be more important. Yes, get attention with a title, a thumbnail, a topic, timing, trends. You get attention that way. But once you have attention, what you need to build is trust. So attention happens first, but trust is more important. You get attention because it starts the process, but you have to build trust because it's more important. And this is also going to help you on the monetization side in a different way. High trust makes retention easier with less effort required. So when people feel like they can trust you, when they feel warmth, when they feel care, when they feel that someone is passionate about the same thing that they are, and that comes across on camera, when someone's confident, when someone speaks clearly, when all of those things are happening, retention doesn't require gimmicks. It requires much less effort to have high retention if you have high trust with the viewer. Speaking of gaming, the Gamester Show says, is 15 minutes of AVD on a 1 hour video a retrospective video game good? It generally is good, but what I would do is I would start thinking more about, let's say, what your median retention is. Most of the retention drop off happens in the first 30 seconds of a video. I would argue that those people didn't really give the video a chance. So I would pay closer attention, and I think YouTube does this too, after taking that signal into account. After those people who abandon the video leave, let's say 30% of people abandon the video at the beginning of the video. After those people leave, then start counting the number from there, and then start to measure the retention after that. Eventually, I'll build a tool around this, but start to measure the retention after that, because I think it's more meaningful that after the initial people leave that didn't give you a chance, how many people stayed after that? How many people finished the video? What's the percentage there? So again, I don't hate this number for you. I think this number is fine for a 1 hour retrospective gaming video. What I would say though is I'm much more interested in how many people were still watching at the last 30 seconds of the video, and what percentage of those people did you retain. And I would argue that for the far majority of you, you need to start looking at, is that number above 20, 25, 30%? And so basically, how many people did you keep to the end is a better indicator of video quality than anything else. People who leave in the beginning, that's not an indicator of video quality. That's an indicator of retention. And again, early retention and abandonment, sometimes it's not about the trust signal you send. Sometimes it's about an expectations mismatch. An expectations mismatch between title, thumbnail, topic, timing, trend, and then the first 15 to 30 seconds of the video, or even first 8 seconds of the video. That mismatch may be unfair. They may be judging too harsh too quickly, especially if you're new and you're small. They don't take that into consideration. They're not going to, and you shouldn't expect it. But because you just may not be good at upfront delivery, but once people give you a chance, they would like you. That's something that happens. To that regard, early small content creators should not be focused on quality over quantity, no matter what a big YouTuber tells you. The truth is, most of you, by the standards of the big YouTuber that they'd be watching, cannot compete on quality over quantity anyway. The creator who's telling you quality over quantity, how big is their team? Are they a solo creator in their bedroom? No, they're not. So the creator's telling you quality over quantity. They have unlimited resources. They have $10,000 worth of camera gear that you don't have. They have access to other friends, big YouTubers who shout them out. You don't have that. They have a team of 5 people that work part-time or full-time for them, or 10 or 20 people. You don't have that. They have sponsors that can rain down money from the sky. You don't have that. So they can think about quality at a standard that you don't. They're not talking about basic quality. They're talking about high effort videos. And they're also talking a little bit when they say quality, they are thinking a little bit about the packaging too. I refer to the packaging as separate from the quality. I refer to that as value because it's a value judgment up front. I separate it because they're different tasks that you have to do. They're different tasks that you have to do. So I would say the quality is the content itself and the experience that people are having. And I tie quality to retention. I don't tie quality to views. I tie quality to retention. I turn value up front to views. Therefore, I focus on packaging to communicate value up front. So that's, attention and interest. What you're interested in and what gets your attention is not the same thing as whether it was good. It's that you thought it was good, it looked good, it seemed good, but was it actually? So quality is the experience you have. Value is about what your expectations are. And then there's a value to quality mismatch when high expectations, great packaging. Human example is, have you ever thought someone looked interesting? They had the right title, they got your attention, they got your interest, and then they messed it all up. They opened their mouth and they become interesting, no more, unattractive. The minute they opened their mouth, they ruined the experience. Being around them was not as fun as looking at them. Every human being has experienced that at some point. Every human being has been that person at some point. That is a mismatch on quality and value. That is a mismatch on the expectation up front, the value that I had in interest and attention, those signals. And it's like, okay, looks great on the outside. You're a rotten person on the inside. The experience of you was horrible. You were much nicer to look at than to spend time with. Videos can do that. Videos can be that. So when you're trying to get it into your head, almost no strategist will tell you this. They won't communicate this way. This is the simplest psychology. The views are based on value for the viewer or expected value for the viewer. That is title, topic, thumbnail, and timing. The experience is what dictates retention, and that is the quality of the video itself, aka how did it feel after I clicked on this to actually experience it, and was the experience of watching it as good of the expectation that was set by the topic, title, and thumbnail that attracted me to the video. So again, someone can look good, something can look good, and then experiencing them and it can feel horrible. So there's that. That also means you won't repeat the experience. So it's click, watch, repeat. And this is the simplest framework for understanding YouTube. Can I get them to click? That's interest, attention, attraction. That's all of the signals of topic, title, thumbnail, and timing. Hey, can I get your attention? Can I make you interested? Can I make you curious? Okay, that is interesting. That looks fun, but is that fun? That looks interesting, but is it interesting? That looks informative, that looks valuable, but is it? We click on it. We have the experience. Did the quality match the packaging? Or was I duped? Was I bait and switched? AKA clickbait, bad clickbait, bad clickbait, bad. So you have that. Then if it was a good experience, I can repeat what I just watched. I can trust this when I see this creator, when I see this type of thumbnail, I can click on that video because the last time I did, it was a good experience. So I want to have it again. So click, watch, and repeat. If I click on it and the experience doesn't feel good right away, I abandon the video. Low retention, low trust signal. So again, we're optimizing for high trust signals. Did I click on the video? Did I click on the video the first time YouTube put it in front of me? Or did it have to wear me down like Steve Urkel going after Laura Winslow? Did it have to wear me down? Or did it get me to click faster? Velocity of click. So get you to click fast, get you to watch without abandoning, get you to watch to the end. Those are high trust signals to YouTube. You want to focus on trust signal. Then, okay, the next highest trust signals are, did I share this video that I enjoyed with other people? Did I engage with the people in the comment section and did I do that repeatedly? Do I return and repeat watching videos from this creator or on this topic or on this channel or in this playlist or whatever? Cool. Do I keep doing that? And how quickly do I do that? How long of a gap between videos and watching and so on? Do I go and watch videos from their back catalog? Do I make a playlist that has these videos? These are all high trust signals that say, I like this, give me more of this YouTube. I like this creator, put him in my feed more. I like this type of content, show me more of these topics. I like things that look like this, give me more similar. Whether it's from this creator or another creator or another channel from this creator, and so on and so forth. So that's how YouTube actually works if I simplify it for you. And everybody here who's ever watched a YouTube video, you can say, oh yeah, I've experienced that. That's how that's worked. Or, oh wow, that's why my homepage is flooded with all this stuff. So if I put it in simple terms, that's how YouTube today in 2026 actually works for you. And like I said, if you can get a higher trust signal, yes, you get more views, you get more subscribers, you get more everything, but it also works out really well for every metric you could possibly need for monetizing with ad revenue, but also monetizing your audience. If you're doing that, then the pattern recognition holds that you'll be able to sell memberships, you'll be able to get donations, you'll be able to have people click on the links for the sponsors to see that people trust you and that they'll buy from you. Affiliate revenue, if you do affiliate links with performance, you should do that with the brands as well. If you can, you should double dip on brand deal plus affiliate. So you should do that. If people are in the comments constantly, the brands will see you're credible. They might ask you to do stuff on their channels, on their social medias, and host you. And so they'll do that. And then you have these UGC opportunities. So then that's working in your favor, and so on and so forth. So that's how I would be approaching this. And that's how I'd be thinking about this is you want to optimize for trust. A lot of you are optimizing only for attention, and you're not ignoring trust, but you're not prioritizing it. So hopefully when I say that, that makes sense. So Macro Castro. So Macro Castro says, after 20 years in TV and post-production, the lack of gear is not an issue. Therefore, launching a new channel strictly on iPhone. Yeah, shot on iPhone is enough. Taylor Bell. Taylor Bell is one of the fastest rising quality content creators in lifestyle that I've ever seen. She's a phenomenal YouTuber. She's a New York vlogger. She is, a former consultant. So she's a corporate girly doing Gen Z Zoomer style content around that, living in New York, traveling around the world, doing all kinds of cool adventures and showing you her life and the behind the scenes of her creator business. And she's almost to 1 million subs now. Last year, I think she was at 700,000 subs. The year before that, I think she was at 400,000 subs. So she's like rising up the ranks. She's great. Met her at Made on YouTube last year. Phenomenal creator. What I would say is you have to understand she shoots on an iPhone Pro, probably a Pro Max now, uses probably the same portable DJI microphones that I use. So I use for my iPhone setup, I use these DJI mic minis. So I'll show you here. So I use these things. These are super tiny, like super tiny. And what you do is you plug that into your phone, this little receiver here. So super low profile. So that's what that looks like. And then use one of these. And this has magnets in it, so boom. Oh, hang on. Upside down there. So yeah, I mean, so that's all you got to do. And that does quite a bit for you. Now, alternatively, there's some like super cheap budget gear. I'll do a video about best vlogging gear out there. You've got the Osmo Action Cam 6. I put a camera cage on this so you can mount things to it and that you can use regular tripods and accessories and such with it. So I have that going on. And I also have a magnetic light on the side. You could also mount a light on the top. You can screw things in. So you have all that. There's also something a little bit more inconspicuous. You have the DJI Nano, and that can also do vertical if you want. Again, I put a cage on this for accessories, and it does also have like this magnetic keychain mount thing that you can use. So it does that. So again, very cool. For your phone, if you want to stabilize it, you can use one of these Osmo style gimbals, and it also has a built-in light. So it also extends to be a selfie stick. So you flip it out, this becomes this extended thing with a selfie stick. You snap that in there. My phone case is not doing me any favors here. And then you'd calibrate this bad boy. And so, yeah, you can rotate it, you can balance it, does all the things. So again, and then you pull one of these. So again, very cool. So again, I think that, you would just do one of these numbers. So again, the tech is relatively affordable, cheap, portable, and convenient now to do pretty high quality content. So I would say that there's just a lot of opportunity when it comes to doing this affordably and not having to get the most expensive, most fancy gear in the entire world in order to make something of quality and to grow as a content creator. I've seen people do entire channels, mostly lifestyle stuff, in long form and short form with their phone. Taylor Bell makes long form and short form with her phone. And I think it's the 17 Pro Max, same as mine. And again, this thing is phenomenal in terms of quality. And there's just a lot you can do with it. Now, what some people will do is they'll use the Osmo Pocket 3. There's the 4 out now, but we're having like import export issues, so that's a little rough. I put a cage and a miniature tripod on it for convenience, and of course, again, magnetic light accessory. Also magnetic. You can put magnetic ND filters on this if you want as well. If you shoot in bright lights, outside, super sunny, all that stuff. So again, there is very affordable, very capable gear out there starting with your phone, instead of like super fancy cameras and things of that nature. You don't have to get all of that. This stuff is relatively cheap, portable, lightweight-ish. So you can go that route. And what I would say about it is there's just more opportunity for small creators now than there were. You would think that being early to YouTube and being first and being fast would make all the difference in the world. I can promise you that it's easier to grow now than it was back in the day. The lack of competition also means you just had a lack of opportunity as well. Less ad revenue. Partner program was initially invite only, also all kinds of stuff. Oh wow, we've got 5 gifted subs from David Matney. Shout out to David Matney. Appreciate you. David, would love to set up a call whenever you get a chance to do another channel review for you because it's been a minute and I think you're crushing it. You don't need any of the new YouTube update stuff, but it's always great to talk with you. I'd love to help you with whatever you're working on. We also had someone actually do the jewels, which you can do vertical and horizontal. Interesting update to the YouTube Partner Program you guys may not know about is they have in-app currency now that you can redeem with these jewels and gifts. They're not exactly the super stickers or super chats or super thanks. They're closer to the bits and gifts that you see in Twitch live streaming and also something very similar in TikTok. So now YouTube has that. So we have a lot more ways to monetize than we did. I think that's really great. Thank you, by the way, to all the mods holding it down. Appreciate you. Home Rapid Repair, Larry says, I feel like a lot of the first few seconds drop off people were testing if the video kind of matched the thumbnail. There is that, but also there is that aspect. But I'd also be curious. We are not able to cross-reference whether the drop-off and that retention. We can't see that by language or location geography, and that annoys me. I really wish that I could filter every single one of my YouTube analytics and just see what percentage of it is this country, that country, this age, this gender, this language. Like, I wish I could filter every YouTube metric and then say, okay, but only this language, only this location, only this age range, only this gender, only. I really, if I can get anyone at the analytics team to give me that, that'd be great for advanced mode. And I would prefer that, because then I could correlate how much of my drop off and retention rate is just people who don't speak English natively or fluently or in another country. And then I can just stop taking the retention graph personally if I know that a big chunk of that drop off is just people from another language. And then I can just kind of ignore, and I can just move on and not take it personally. You shouldn't try to take some of this stuff personally anyway, but it'd be easier if you had more specific data to take it less personally. So I would love that. If anybody from YouTube is watching this and is still watching the replay, and I know sometimes you guys do, or a clip of this, that's the feature we need. Larry says, thumbnails are now so amazing that once I click on it, it often feels a bit less than. Yeah, I agree. And then it feels like a letdown. Yeah, great thumbnails, and then the video quality is not good. Because again, iPhone quality can be very good, but you also have to know what the hell you're doing. But like that's a big deal. That's why I think production is going to matter more. But the thing is, production's really accessible. So if packaging is going to be really good now, okay, great. You're going to get more clicks. But then, oh, drop off in retention. Production needs to be good. But production is not just video camera quality, it's audio mixing. It can be aesthetics. It can also, there could be presentation. There could be your personality. So there's all these other factors that come into play. And I would say that those are also important. But yeah, I think a lot of it is expectations. Lions Den Farm says, it's almost as if authenticity and honesty beats beastification. Yes, it does. Beastification is a Mr. Beast terminology, by the way, in terms of like these very high effort, high quality, highly edited videos, usually around spectacle and storytelling. That became a methodology of YouTube for a while. People just basically try to become the Mr. Beast of blank, the Mr. Beast of whatever niche, genre, or type of content, the Mr. Beast of blank. That was a big deal for a long time, but people are finding that in a post-pandemic world, that's just exhausting for people, and it's kind of fallen off. And we're kind of better off moving on from that era, to be honest. No, I wouldn't process your situation against anybody else's, possibly the viewers, though. I would process the contrast between you and your viewers and also try to interpret how they're viewing. David says, Roberto, thanks for what you do to help the creator community. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, and these new updates, again, I'm going to keep them coming. I'm going to do a dedicated video on this update. This one will not be a very long video to make in terms of the update around the how YouTube measures views. I will be getting that out. The thing is, a lot of people got that out without qualifying the information about the engaged views and what does and doesn't change here. I'm going to do that, then cover that in the monetization update video. So hopefully you get the views update video tomorrow, the monetization update video on Wednesday, and then there will be a video that I go on how to monetize and break down my full system for that for the new updates, hopefully on Thursday or Friday. And then also we'll probably be doing channel reviews this Friday. So that is at least the current plan. Would love for YouTube to make those accessible on desktop. Yeah, that'd be great. You got Colin Michael in the house. Appreciate you. Ruby Karu says, yeah, noise or loud music is a problem. Yeah, a lot of people aren't good at the audio mixing. I struggled with it in the early days. Sometimes it's also the headphones you have or how you're editing. I use DT7720 Pro monitor headphones. I also, if you notice behind me, you probably can't see it very well, but when you watch my videos, a lot of times I have a headphone collection. Now, I didn't spend a bunch of money on headphones aside from my personal monitor headphones and one pair of my Sony Miles Morales headphones. But the rest of those I either got from brands or as a gift of some kind, but a lot of it was brands. Like, so I didn't spend a lot of money on that stuff. Most of the money I did spend out of stuff for my YouTube channel was camera gear, fixtures, desk, StreamYard stuff, camera switching stuff. Monitors. I went through so many phases of monitors and lights and to get my setup the way I want it. Oh my God. To some degree, I regret spending a lot of that money because it was a lot. Um, Probably could have been better invested in the stock market, but I wanted to try to make the content as good as it could be. Joe's Phenomenal says, I've always followed the unthumbnail model that Nate Black talks about. That can work for some people. I think that, again, with thumbnails, you want to set expectations, but you also have to consider context of the viewer and then also know what is attractive to your viewer instead of just what you think you want your brand to be. You have to go, I have something I call the vibes framework. So my framework, Nate Black has his framework, I have mine. My thumbnail framework is this visually attractive at a glance? Is this interesting at a glance? And does it tell an interesting story at a glance that you can understand without words? If you're going to use words or text and everything, are they bold? Do they have contrast? Are you using bold colors and contrasting colors? And then do you have eye-catching elements in your thumbnail that we can easily recognize? And then does your thumbnail have anything in it that can convey status or social proof? So does it pass the vibes check? So those are the five things. That is my framework. That is my system. I'll be making a YouTube video about that, by the way, because it'll be something to the degree of the five rules for YouTube thumbnails that actually work. Um, and so yeah, so that's how my methodology is because you can use that framework in any niche of YouTube, whether it's education content, entertainment content, or lifestyle content. This works. So think about it, it's these five principles. So instead of, oh, use this color, use that color, use this font. Yeah, I could tell you some of those things. And yes, sometimes I like get nerdy into, hey, here's the fonts that like most YouTubers are using. Sure. And I don't have a problem telling you guys that stuff. But again, this framework, this system, you can apply these five principles, and that's about how you apply them, and it will make your thumbnails successful. So it doesn't matter if you are doing a specific type of content, there's a way to do it for that content. Urban Noise Music says, yes, I always make sure to keep the music at a decent volume, but not to the point to where it drowns out everything I'm saying. It takes work. Oh yeah, yeah, that's always a balancing act for sure. Yes, a thumbnail without any indication of what the video is about can be a problem. It's usually a big problem, and a lot of people they make their thumbnails way too clever and it doesn't work. The Gamester Show says, what are your thoughts on search-based content? I think it's overlooked. Those videos can accumulate lots of views and watch time and views throughout the years. Actually, it is very much overlooked. I still think that I don't think search is dead on YouTube at all. I think a lot of people, for example, uh, so I'm just typing this in, and I know that like people go, well, it's in your like search history, but like I just typed in Adobe green screen tutorial, and your boy still after all this time is the undefeated champion. But yeah, I know my browser is probably biased, whatever. I could probably do this in incognito mode and get the same result though, if I'm being honest. Because there's a reason that it has so many views. And the first day I uploaded it, it got 1,500 views. It doesn't matter that I have 600K subs. It got 1,500 views the first day I uploaded it. And so it didn't do anything really for me. And let's see. Let's see something. Mine is the shortest non-short that actually, because like 15 seconds, that's not going to do it. Unless this one is about the one click, because there's now like a one click thing. I don't know how someone can do 15 seconds and the tutorial be actually useful, but that may be why it didn't clear 100K views. But um, for the most part, I believe out of all the videos that you're going to see here, mine might be the shortest or near shortest one that is also relatively recent. There are that, and by shortest, like, again, under a minute doesn't do it. I think that that's going too far. Oh, Colin, you've got one under a minute. Well, right at a minute. Yours is probably fine for like a minute because you could do it in 60 seconds, but not less than 60 seconds, I think. And yours is more recent. Yours will probably do really well in another year to 2 years, Michael. So good for you, man. But yeah, mine is ranking pretty well. Now, what I will say is, out of all the videos, I immediately within 3-4 seconds, I show you that the background you're seeing is a green screen. So like that's the preview of mine. Um, this one actually was really clever. I didn't see this one before. This one goes more in depth because it's how to actually also film the green screen. It goes more in depth. I've considered doing a video that's more in depth than showing you just the edit part of it. Because I could do a whole series on green screen. In fact, I plan to. But yeah, I'm just using this example of search content works, y'all. Search content absolutely works. So you can do it. And I do think it's overlooked. The reason I think a lot of people don't do search content anymore is they want to get viral views. And most tutorial content used to be done by either professionals in their 30s, or it used to be done by college age kids, mostly young men would do the tutorial niche in their 20s or their 30s. And they didn't treat it like a get rich quick scheme. Now with YouTube, the big thing is faceless YouTube automation, and young men basically treat that like a get rich quick scheme. Not all of them, but enough of them. Faceless YouTube automation is mostly young men. Let's just be real. So both the people doing it and the people teaching it. So it's treated largely like, oh, this is how you blow up fast. This is how you make money on YouTube. This is how you get rich as a young man. And they do it that way. The tutorial niche used to be oh, we can make slow and steady, reliable passive income by making genuinely useful content in terms of tutorials. And so you do that, or product reviews. And so that's why in the early 2010s of YouTube, if you look at the 2010s era of YouTube, the big niche for young men was tech, and the tutorial niche if it wasn't gaming. Gaming didn't work out as a get rich quick scheme because the big YouTube gamers were already there. PewDiePie was crushing it. The only way to really make it big as a young man in gaming, if you weren't esports or a champion player or a pro player, and this is still largely true, is you got to be one of the early hype people in the community when a game launches, and then launch yourself off of the back of that game. And the thing is, most of the people who are big YouTubers in gaming or commentary or both today would not be where they are if a big game didn't get them a couple of early viral hits by being early to the game, part of the community, and grinding it out every single day. And gaming was the daily upload thing for YouTube besides news and politics content, which back then didn't make any money. Now it's the main thing that makes money, believe it or not. Heavily monetizable niche. But the thing for young men is you'd either do gaming and just grind out gaming because you like it, and maybe you blow up on the back of a new game launch. Then you make your personality mostly that game until you get big enough as a personality to just do variety or do reactions or commentary. Worked for PewDiePie. And so you do something like that. Or you would go and you do a commentary channel. Most people who did commentary didn't show their face. So that was the original, like, kind of faceless YouTuber thing was, oh, you do commentary. Oh, you do video essays, or you do compilation videos. You do that sort of thing. But most people, they only made decent side money with a lot of that. The thing that compounded over time back in the day was tutorials and tech YouTube content, because you could also tie that into affiliate marketing. So you get the ad revenue plus you get the passive income. And by the way, that still works today. It's just slow and most people think it's boring, so they don't do it. And again, I've coached creators in gaming. I have a lot of friends in gaming. Um, my friend Mad Curious, she's a speedrun streamer. Um, there's a lot of people that have coached like A Drive in gaming and so on and so forth. So it's not that I'm against gaming. I'm just seeing a culture of gaming YouTube when it comes to young men that basically tries to now make it a get rich quick scheme. And the same thing applies to a lot of the faceless YouTube automation genre with the various videos therein. I'm not against AI, but I don't like slop, whether it's human slop or AI slop. And so a lot of AI slop comes out of the faceless automation genre among young men. So you have that. I actually think that even though it's slow and steady, someone could make a killing if they pick different software and they just make super helpful, simple, fast tutorial content off of certain software and use that and do affiliate marketing around that. Basically, kind of like what Larry does with Home Rapid Repair. You could do what Larry does with evergreen search content, and some of it's hit or miss, or it takes forever on electricity, plumbing, drywall, this or that. You could pick software niches that work out very similar to that, where you're just making helpful stuff, but stuff people have to do all the time. Like if someone made a bunch of tutorials and then one playlist is like, here's all this stuff for Mac and how to do this in Mac, how to find these keyboard shortcuts in Mac, how to do this, 15 keyboard shortcuts for this, how to do this, how to install this, how to update this, and it was your Mac stuff. Then you had tutorials for the iPhone, you had tutorials for the iPad, you had every kind of major tutorial category for the Mac ecosystem for products you already owned. If someone did a channel around that, it wouldn't blow up overnight, but they would compound so many views every single time that someone searches for something, and they have the freshest, newest video that's either the shortest, the longest, or the best optimized for the minutes. And they were just doing that, and they just put out consistent content. It's not that they'd have this big, loyal fan base that watches every video. It's that every time someone has that problem in the entire universe, they're watching this channel. And every time someone goes and they have a Mac product, and if they ever use a tutorial from this channel, they'll just go, oh, I'm going to go to that one channel. They have all the Apple tutorials, and they just go to that and they go, oh, got it, got what I need, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, they tell their friends. It's this virtuous cycle. It gets posted in some Reddit forums. Boom, 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 boom. You sit there, and every video after 3 years probably crosses 50, 100, 500,000 views, because there's just so many buyers for every Mac product. And if you do everything for the hardware and then everything for the software, cover every Mac OS update, iOS update, watch OS update, so on and so forth, someone could literally just, without covering Apple news, just cover hardware and software in the entire Apple ecosystem. And yeah, they'll have over 100K subscriber channel, maybe even a million subscriber channel, but they'll have crap tons of views always coming in, always have affiliate link sales, always have product sales, always have stuff coming in, because they just become the most useful utility channel ever. Someone like that can make $10,000 to $30,000 a month within 2 to 3 years of launching that channel if they do it. I'm not joking. As long as there's enough content, as long as there's enough inventory, as long as there's a couple hundred videos there in that time, because I'm saying that channel has to upload 2 to 3 times a week. But you can. Hell, you could go daily on that channel and it'd be worth it. And as long as the quality is decent, oh my God, it can work. Yeah, your back catalog can carry the whole channel in a situation like that. Mac Miller's PC says, I wish I would have given up on search. Would be so much farther ahead if I've not. You can always add enough search content to your back catalog and library. Even I'm going to do that. Look, if I had just never stopped, if my minimum thing that I ever did was just always upload at least one tutorial a week on Tuesday, if I make no other YouTube content, is upload a tutorial for editing software every Tuesday or something like that. Given enough time, every single one of those videos would have 50 to 100,000 to 500,000 views, like given enough time. So yeah, even with me, evergreen content that's searchable, if I just did that 2 to 3 times a week, I'd like, if I'd never stopped uploading during the pandemic at all, I'd have like 1 million subscribers. So yeah. Urban Noise says, I'm not a fan of that YouTube automation stuff at all, and I run a faceless channel. Yeah, like again, a lot of people can run faceless channels without doing that. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of get rich quick YouTube. I'm not a fan of, oh, make like 5 channels and you'll be a millionaire. I'm not like it. There's some truth to some of it. There's a reason that some people do it, and there are real results out there. And I'm not saying everybody doing it is a fraud or anything like that. There's some real logic that works behind it, but most people bypass all of that for the fantasy of it, and most people wouldn't be dedicated enough or skilled enough to pull it off. Um, I'm not saying it's a 0.01%er thing or whatever. I'm just saying it goes a different way. Just wondering, do you feel the same way about gamer girls? No, I think it's a different thing with that, and it depends on like how they approach it. Like my favorite examples of people who do this correctly are Miss Click. So I've known Kirsten for years. Miss Click, she does a great job. Mad Curious, she does a great job. They do this thing extremely well without falling into the negative tropes of being exploitative of an audience or doing the e-girl thing or having a fake personality. I think that the thing that I like, so with the guys and the YouTube gamers on the guys side, not all of them, but there's a lot of them that this becomes a get rich quick scheme. With the female gamers, with the gamer girlies, like a lot of them, not all of them, will fall into the e-girl pipeline, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of fake personality, and there are some exploitive things toward the audience. But there are great examples, good examples in friends of mine like Miss Click and Mad Curious, and I'm sure there are other great examples over there. There are great people out there like Power Couple, that's a husband and wife out of Brazil. They do an amazing job. So again, it's not all gamer girls or gamer girlies are not e-girls, but I think there is a crossover section of that, and I think there's a partly parasocial exploitative aspect to certain types of content and certain types of fake addictively designed personality, if that makes sense. This can be done on the male side, but it's done more with the outrage culture than it would be an equivalent to the e-girl thing. There are fake e-boy personas out there as well that then try, I think, to be exploitive or potentially not great toward a female audience, pulling the ooh-woo shy boy crap, and it's a fake persona, and there are people who do that and they take advantage of their audience in that way. Those are just things I noticed from a pattern recognition standpoint as someone older in the community who is not the target of the exploitative content. I wouldn't be the person they'd be trying to target. So I can see it from the outside and go, oh, I see what this game is. I see what's happening. So that's just one man's point of view on it. And you could say that I'm a little cynical when it comes to that sort of thing. That's not an uncharitable view, but I think that that cynicism has been earned. And like I said, it's not everybody. It's not even close to everybody. The gaming community has a lot of great people. Most players don't want to do the boring everyday stuff they think is too basic, but someone has to do it. Yep, absolutely. I agree with that. And there's a lot of value and potential money to be made in it. That's just fine. Mr. Roberto, how do I save storage on my MacBook and iPhone when saving videos from YouTube? It depends on what your editing is. If you're editing in Final Cut Pro, then your media cache is probably taking up a lot of the storage, as well as any pre-render files. So I would probably look at that, and I'd probably scrap those. You also could look at what you're doing in terms of file formats and compression. I'm the kind of person who likes to back up all my raw footage. That's why I have a NAS, a network attached storage, that's over there next to the printer. And I also keep an abundance of these external drives. And in the back there, you probably can't see it, but I have like a huge stack of these 4 terabyte LaCie drives. So I try to archive things. So I take advantage of that. So that's how I'm doing it. Yep, back on search grind and affiliate pumps. That's the way. This is the way. Good for you, Matt Moore. Mm. When it comes to getting monetized, search friendly content is slow, but it also gathers and accumulates a lot of watch time. And so it's actually incredibly valuable for that. It's slow, but it constantly accumulates watch time. Live streaming is also a method to accumulating the watch time. If you wanted to get the 4,000 hours of watch time, you could go daily and you can get it relatively quickly if you can get 20, 30, 50 people to watch a stream at a time for 1 to 2 hours and you went live every day, you to get the watch time relatively quickly. The 4,000 watch hours that you need, think about it. If you can get people to watch a live stream and you can get them to watch replays of the live stream, if you can do that enough, you could go ahead and you could probably get the watch hours in 12 weeks because you could probably clear a couple hundred watch hours every week. You could probably in 8 to 12 weeks clear the 4,000 hours of watch time as long as you were averaging per week a good 500 hours of watch time. And if you were streaming like Monday through Friday or you were doing daily, you got to get getting 100 watch hours a day sounds crazy until you consider what happens if you stream for 1 to 2 hours a day, depending on how many people you get to watch the stream begin to end, and then get people to watch the replays of a live stream. Live streaming, whether it's vertical or horizontal, as long as you keep it public, it counts towards your watch hours. So you could very much so get the watch hours by streaming every day if you wanted to do that. And so that would actually help your channel as well. So from a monetization standpoint, that would work. I am going to be making a chart that basically outlines how to get it with videos, how to get it with live streams, and how to get it with short form. And so that will give you a formula to go off of. And that's also going to be in my upcoming video, hopefully this week. The lounge with LT says, totally makes sense. Thank you for answering my question. Yep, you're very welcome. Okay, so Ruvi, this is actually a really interesting approach to faceless content. So Ruvi says, faceless for me will be a covered face, aka face mask, glasses, and a wig. I have a strong personal safety reasons for why I don't want to share my identity, but I have a calling to fulfill. Yeah, that's been done. There are people who've done that, like Anti-Profit. Anti-Profit has done that. Quite did that at one point before his face reveal. I don't know if he still does that. There are plenty of people who use costumes, mask, makeup, and various different things to conceal their identity and do YouTube, but they do a human performance, but their identity is not revealed, which is a little different than a pure faceless channel where you're just a disembodied voice. So yeah. Hey, how's it going, Elijah? Appreciate you. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm very sorry to hear that. You had the watch hours, you've been on YouTube for 14 years. Yeah, no, I'm sorry to hear that. Lost your parents. Yeah. Yep, no, that's rough. Let's see. Yeah, Larry from Home Rapid Repair, his content can live forever. Even some of my tutorial content, it still works. My stuff on copyright claims, that still gets views. So yeah, there's evergreen content is one of the better strategies for YouTube to continue to earn revenue from your content. That's one of the better strategies. One of the things that's disappointing about the YouTube Shorts updates is that it makes making shorts evergreen feel pointless. But what I'll point out with the YouTube Shorts monetization, and yes, every 90 days for YouTube Shorts to keep getting Shorts revenue, you would have to get 10 million Shorts views across 90 days. The thing is, you want to aim for that anyway, because then that's how you get real money anyway. Because 10 million Shorts views, it sounds like so much, but you don't make a lot of money from that anyway. You need more. And so the requirement is, it sounds worse than it is. Again, I'd rather they didn't do it or they lowered the number, but it sounds worse than it is. You're like, oh my God, if I don't meet these numbers, they won't pay me for the shorts I did make and everything. But if you didn't make those numbers, the money will not be as good as you're thinking anyway. So my answer to it is after you make a large inventory of shorts, you'll have so many shorts getting so many views every day that meeting the requirements won't matter if you do enough shorts. And the thing is, the shorts seems more intimidating than it should be because people keep thinking they need their shorts to be as high quality of their videos are, but they also are thinking they have to make every short individually and make it individually unique. When the actual better strategy for a lot of things with shorts, and I've talked about this before, I'll make a dedicated video about this, is to create a scenario where the shorts don't really need to be edited, they just need to be clipped, and to create a scenario that lets you make a bunch of shorts. The lifestyle girlies that I know and travel girlies that I know, they are very smart about shorts, and they're basically just making the same things they have to make for Instagram and Instagram stories, and then just making them shorts or refilming something right there in that second. So they crank out 8 to 12 YouTube shorts in a day. And they actually don't make it that hard on them. And it's like not that much work. It's maybe an hour of work. It's just that they're incredibly strategic about it, and they don't just upload that to YouTube Shorts. They upload it to YouTube Shorts, they upload it to Instagram, they upload it to TikTok, they upload it to Facebook, they upload it to Snapchat, some of them upload to X, and therefore they're getting paid from 6 different platforms. So it's completely worth it for the effort to make 8 to 12 shorts a day and get paid by 6 different platforms. So this makes them thousands upon thousands of dollars, and it's smart. So that is the reason that the extra effort, if it takes them 1 to 3 hours, they do it. So that's incredibly practical. Now, there are people outside of those niches that they make it work for. Podcasting is obvious. Like Caleb Hammer, smartest guy on YouTube, as far as I'm concerned. His business model is perfect. So he just makes a show. The show gets clips for long form clips off the show. The clips in the show do short form clips. They film multiple camera angles. They got variations of those same clips. They recycle, they rehash, they repeat. They post across multiple accounts, across multiple platforms, and monetize the heck out of it. It's brilliant. It's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. So, like, that's a smart play. Podcasters are catching on. They're doing the same thing. It's a brilliant play. And so there's infinite money glitch in repurposing content by shooting something staged and elaborate that's long form and then having infinite clips to come from it and monetizing infinite clips. It's brilliant. There are ways to do that even as a small creator that are not really impractical. There's a version of this for people in education content. If you're a public speaker or you do live in-person workshops like myself and Chris Doe and people like that, my speaking engagements are what my YouTube shorts are. And I don't really care about the monetization on my YouTube shorts. For me, they plug my book and they also get me potentially on the radar for other speaking gigs. And then if I show up in someone's YouTube shorts feed, I'm on a podcast or I'm speaking on stage. For me, it's a reputation thing. So even if the views are not incredibly high, every one of those 1,000 views is someone who saw me speaking on stage. So it's someone who takes me more seriously. So like that's the value for me, right? So I make that make sense. But if I was doing entertainment or lifestyle content, I'll give you a primary example. If I was doing entertainment and I was trying to reach a college kid crowd, I'd go and I'd probably, if I was living in Florida, I'd just go to the beach every day with me and my phone, or me and my cameraman with the camera or the phone. And we just walk up to people and we'd ask them all basically some of the same or similar questions. We can make infinite compilations off of a single day of content there. We've got 100 shorts clips for spending 2 hours on the beach. We got 100 shorts clips easily off of that 2 hours. So like we've got plenty of content to upload, 5 videos a day for like a month off of one day of work, just doing that. So that's one example. If you're a gamer, you can sit there and you could stream your game every single day for 90 minutes to 2 hours. You don't have to do these 4 and 8 hour gaming sessions. And then you could clip that and you get 5 to 8 shorts a day out of the authentic clips and highlights right out of that. No need for any crazy editing. The most you can do is if you want to do a different voiceover, you do that. Boom, boom, boom. And again, all of these are uploaded to YouTube Shorts, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, X, and you make your money. One of these places, the views will do well enough for you to make significant money, or all of them will make just enough little bit of money for it to all add up. And then tomorrow's another day and you rinse and repeat. So that's the way that I would be doing these. So That's what makes sense on the gaming side for entertainment. There's a version of doing this in almost every niche. For product reviews, it's basically top-down shots, unboxings, and just doing that and making it work. And just getting a bunch of companies that will send you the free product stuff. Oh, review our product. We don't have a contract for you, $0. Okay, I'm not guaranteeing you a video. You get a bunch of tech companies to send you a bunch of stuff in the mail. You do unboxings or ASMR unboxings, all with a top-down setup. You just film, and then you just cut. You don't need everyone to be a cinematic masterpiece. You just make sure the camera gear is set up to be good to begin with. You got great camera gear set up, then the quality is already guaranteed because you got good audio, video, and your set design. So now it's just throw the box down, do the thing. And if you're going to do voiceovers, you do your voiceovers. So you just make it as efficient as possible. You just do it as efficient as possible. For the same in multiple channels, when you're talking about this, I'll give you a primary example. Caleb Hammer posts some variants of his shorts to his regular YouTube channel. Then he posts another one to his clips channel specifically for YouTube shorts, but they make them slightly different, but it's not a lot of effort for them because they shot stuff at multiple camera angles and they have a ton of footage so they can mix and match. And yes, I use Opus Clip to use my shorts mods. If you have my Opus Clip link there to send out, that would be great. So people can get Opus Clip, get a free trial of that. Just in case the mods don't have that link, I'm gonna try and grab it real quick. See if I got it here on my phone. Pretty sure I got it on my phone. But yeah, Opus Clip is absolutely what you should be using when it comes to doing your short form content, both for easy clipping and reframing. They also have the animated text. So I would do that for sure if I were you. That's actually how I edit my speaking engagements. I don't sit there in Adobe and edit my speaking engagements as far as my clips of my speaking engagements. So yeah. Um, so yeah, get Opus Clip right here. So I just sent the link to chat for you to get Opus Clip if you haven't checked it out and tried it already. Appreciate you guys. How would you do it if you were a thrifter, thrift store, estate sales, Dollar Tree? I would film a long form video. I would just shoot a little wide, or I'd get somebody that's with me. I'd probably do two phone setup. I'd probably do a two phone setup, one horizontal, one vertical for certain clips. Get somebody to film a little wide with the horizontal, and I can clip it later and basically get someone to film the entire experience of the yard sale and the real estate. And then while they're filming me in the third person, I probably walk around with my phone or my nano and do the vertical side. So you have the option. And then that might be overkill because, again, the easiest thing is just to do it one way, one phone, do your mic, be clipped up, do the thing, be done with it. So then I just film everything I need to film. Then I would just cut it up. And then every yard sale, every estate sale, every Dollar Tree, every visit, I've got 10, 20, 30 clips from one trip. So that's probably how I do it. Um, you know, the trick is whether you want to make the trip a short form thing or a long form thing. If you want to be both, then one of you films the short form and one of you films the vlog that includes you filming the short form. And then that's how you get the most out of both if you're going to do it that way. So to get both the long form and the short form, if you're going to do a thrifting type thing or an experience type thing, it's better to have some person help you and follow you around with a phone or a camera. And while you also make short form content, have someone else do the reality TV long form content for you. Or you do a double pass. You just do a double pass in the store and you film yourself both ways. So you either double the effort or double the manpower. For a channel that does unboxing reviews and some verses for products, could you use products that you own and maybe a little older? Yeah, especially for short form, absolutely. But in general, yes. If those products are still in circulation and people still use them and they still are getting reviews, then yeah. So I would definitely do that. Watch hours drop every day because it's a 365-day rolling count. They don't wait. They don't wait 12 months to drop the watch hours. It's every single day. It's a rolling day. So you need to be replacing the watch hours by far more than you're losing them. It's a 365-day rolling count. I think a lot of people don't understand that when they hear 12 months, they don't realize that YouTube counts as 365 days. So, like, if you had a one day that had 1,000 watch hours and that day is a week from now, you've got a week to get more than that, or you're going to lose that and it's going to drop off your stuff. Man, Nightbot has no chill. Sorry for any of you who are putting in all caps and then Nightbot's hitting you. Nightbot has no chill. Let's see here. Oh, cool. Yeah. I have some vlog style videos and some life update videos coming to the members only stuff. So I'm rebooting like members only. And I have a little bit of stuff from my Japan trip that I'm gonna put in the members only until my vlog channel is done. Also, you guys have seen I've been working hard on some of the relaunch stuff. So you see, I've scheduled live streams for Mondays throughout the month. I'm about to schedule and make the thumbnails for the Friday channel review streams. So we're gonna get a new layout for the channel review stream thumbnails. I'm doing a new style for those. I do need to eventually do a photo shoot because like my current thumbnails and stuff is fine and I don't look bad in them, but I need to do a new photo shoot because I mean, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm very proud. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, and please, if you can, follow me on Instagram and follow my Instagram stories, but also on X. If you guys haven't noticed, over the last 100 days, even though I've been gone for a lot of it from YouTube, in addition to my trip to Japan for my vacation, I needed that. I hadn't done a vacation in 2 years. Um, Last one was to Puerto Rico. That was like 2 years ago for 2 years ago, New Year's. So more than 2 years ago. It's been a minute. I was not going to let it be 3 years without vacation. I needed that. I've also been on a 100-day fitness journey that's been amazing for me. I lost a crap ton of weight, and a lot of you can see it in my face, but like you're not getting as much of like a visual, but you'll see if you go follow me on like X or on Instagram. I've been on this 100-day fitness journey. So I've been doing like really good, again, lean, getting a lot of muscle. You can see a lack of inflammation in my face and that like my jawline and stuff is back. I'm like, really solid. I've lost a ton of weight from my peak weight during the pandemic. I lost a lot of weight even from the last 2 years, even from the last year, and especially over the last 100 days. I've lost, it fluctuates. There's a little bit of fluctuation, but you could basically say I've lost 12 pounds in 12 weeks. It's a little more than that, but if you wanted to round it down conservatively, you can go, I've lost somewhere between 12 and 16 pounds in 12 weeks. So definitely a big deal there, but I haven't taken photos for my thumbnails in a while. So I need new thumbnails because my face looks a little bit different. It looks a lot thinner and it looks good. So I need to take new thumbnail photos, but in the meantime, I'll just use the ones I have. I won't like alter the face in them besides like sharpening the eyes and stuff like I usually do. So I'm going to take new thumbnail headshots eventually, probably this weekend. I'm working on a new thumbnail style for the channel reviews. We'll probably do channel reviews on Friday. If I miss Friday, I'll try to do it Saturday for you guys. I've got a coaching call on Friday. I've got a coaching call. I've got two coaching calls on Friday, but I'm still gonna try to do channel reviews in the evening. I rarely do coaching calls on Saturday. I've got an onboarding call and a coaching call on Saturday. Because that's just what worked out for somebody. And by the way, if you want to do the one-on-one coaching calls, you can go to awesomecreatoracademy.com/coaching and you can see what that's all about. I would lock in now because after Vid Summit in October, rates are going to go up. I have to do that. There are reasons. But yeah, stuff is going to go up in October. You can also go to awesomecreatoracademy.com/join if you want to join the pro group and doing the group coaching because we meet twice a week. But yeah, we're going to do channel review streams on Fridays like we usually would do. We're bringing those back. I'm making new thumbnails for that probably tonight and tomorrow. I'm going to schedule those. So we'll be doing Monday streams. We'll be doing Friday streams. So you won't want to miss those. I'm going to have videos that are going to come out usually on the days that I'm not streaming. I'm going to try to have videos coming out starting this week covering a lot of the new YouTube updates, how to get monetized. Also, some stuff that I've been meaning to put out for a while about YouTube strategy for you guys and what's working in 2026 for my clients, because we've been focusing on my coaching clients. In fact, a lot of my clients and the Academy members, some of them are in the stream here. They can tell you what's been working out for them. We got a lot of them definitely seeing some success with this stuff. So that's been really good. That part's been working out. But yeah, I went on this 100-day fitness journey. It's been amazing for me. I have more energy, more focus, and I can definitely see the changes and results in my body losing 12 to 16 pounds. The energy gains, the ability to sleep better, the ability to wake up early, it's tremendous. The ability to work harder. It got rid of a lot of the back pain that was making it hard to sit in this chair, not only for the live streams, but for the edits and doing all the work. So the back pain, most of my back pain, gone. My shooting knee and hip pain, gone. Brain fog, gone. Like 12 weeks, completely changed my life. Completely changed my life. And it's not just exercise, it's diet. We talk a lot about creator mental health, but creators don't take care of their health. They sit too long. I set my Apple Watch up so that I'm standing more times out of the day that I'm sitting or laying down, aside from sleep. I set my Apple Watch up to close my rings based on my activity. So I set my activity profile to where I have to like stand about roughly a minimum of 7 hours out of the day. I set it up for me to do a certain amount of physical activity and workout a certain amount of the day. I set it up to where I have to burn a certain amount of calories. And so it helped me accountable. So setting up my Apple Watch on the fitness tracker stuff was tremendously helpful. Um, Focusing on, mostly drinking water, not drinking sugary drinks. If I do need something with flavor, I go with more either zero sugar or to make sure I'm doing something that's more of an electrolyte style drink. Not doing a lot of snacking. If I do, it's something healthy. So it's, something more along lines of fruit or nuts, something like that. Eating protein, a lot of protein, whatever your body weight is. I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I'm not a fitness guru. I just went off basic logic and what AI told me, and I just a little bit more than my body weight or target body weight in grams of protein. So protein maxing. Um, no peptides, basic supplement stack. And by basic supplement stack, I mean like magnesium to help me sleep and lower cortisol and stress levels when I want to sleep. So magnesium in my water, some magnesium gummies, um, making sure that I'm getting fresh air, sunlight, obviously, hydrating water, making sure I'm hitting my right amount of ounces of water, doing that. So it was like really basic stuff, a lot more meat, cut out a lot of gluten almost completely from my diet. I almost cut out all gluten from my diet, made a big difference in just my mood and how I feel. So it was, I mean, it's great stuff. Again, I bring this up because the best thing for being a creator is if you can be fit, healthy, strong, look good, feel confident when you look in the mirror. There may be a lot of things that make it hard for you to work or focus that if you just change your diet and your exercise, you'll find more energy, more focus, able to work harder, longer hours with less stress, less pain, really making sure that you're taking care of your circulation, taking care of your back. The core exercises for me, doing the squats, 100 squats every day, doing the 100 crunches. I don't do 100 chin ups, but I do a lot of them. I do full body raises. I did some of that stuff. So like those are the push ups. That was good for me. 100 push ups a day. All that stuff. It was like make sure I get the 10K steps. All of that combined with some weightlifting 3 to 5 times a week made me incredibly healthy, much more energetic, reset my baseline, reset my mental health in a way nothing else has. Nothing has been better for my mental health than working out for 100 days consistently. Like that was the key, consistently, not falling off, not doing this. So like, yeah. So big difference, makes it easier to work. Yeah, creatine definitely was something I took advantage of for sure. Creatine, um, L-theanine or whatever this is, L-theanine. So once in a while, just hitting that. Cutting out carbonation, soda, and sugary drinks. Like if I drink anything, it's like zero sugar, lemonade or something. If I want some flavor, mostly I just do water. But if I do want something, I'll do like a zero sugar, low calorie or 0 calorie type, drink. But I usually mostly will just stick with water, tea, black coffee, no Starbucks, no caffeine after 2 p.m. at all, if I can help it. Once in a while for a snack, dark chocolate. That's always fun. Yeah. So, I mean, getting yourself as physically healthy as possible, not doing hyper late night work, getting a good night's sleep, waking up at a decent hour. If you can wake up early, that's great. Wake up early, wake up and work out as early as you can. Get as much of your work done before something else takes your attention if you can. Not doing late night editing sessions if you can help it. All those things incredibly practical, and I found tremendous benefit from them. So I would highly recommend in terms of something that just makes your life better. Yeah, Matt Miller lost 60 pounds over the last 12 months, makes a huge difference. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like Yarba Mate when I can. Yeah. Tech Bytes RN says, "Hey Roberto, two potential sponsors have asked for videos in vertical form. I normally shoot horizontally. Reshooting in vertical would take more time and looked bad. Thoughts?" Um, I would be honest with them, and then I would ask them, is it that they want the vertical videos for UGC on their platform? Is there a reason? And I would just come clean with them, and I would just try to see what you can work out, and if there's any way to get them to just go with your normal format. No, I didn't substitute sugar. I mean, the only thing I like, instead of eating anything that's normally sugar, I didn't change anything. I just didn't bother with the sugar, and I don't eat sugary foods. Once in a while, if there's something like, it was my mom's birthday, so of course we had cake and ice cream. So yeah, I had sugar then, but it's like I don't go out of my way to have it. I don't buy it from anything. I don't like eat it, or I try to avoid eating out. If I eat out, I eat healthy. So like if I eat out, for example, I will literally just stick to things that are regularly healthy. And burgers aren't not as bad as you would think. The fries are though. Burgers aren't bad. Fries kind of are. Um, because every one of the components that you'd be in a burger is like perfectly fine. Like bread, if you're not overdoing it, is fine. Obviously, a beef patty, that's meat, that's protein, that's fine. Lettuce is fine. Tomato is fine. Onions are great. So, like the things that make up a burger are not that unhealthy. But a lot of times I'll just cook burgers at home, right? So, if like sugar, if I want something like quote unquote, I just eat fruits. I just eat regular fruits, watermelon, pineapple, mangoes, papayas, kiwis, or apples or pears. I love me some pears. So I just do that. And again, um, it's really convenient and everything like that. To do like my diet hasn't really hurt me in terms of, oh my God, I'm missing this kind of food. Oh, I regret this. Oh, it hasn't bothered me. It's like it's actually been really good for me. Having a good eating window, that's been good for me, and it's made me cook more. I'm actually a fairly decent cook, you guys. I actually am pretty good at cooking, especially cooking steak, chicken. I'm very good at cooking. And like I'm getting better at presentation in the cooking. So that's something like I've always been fairly good and competent at cooking. I just didn't think about it before. I just wasn't thinking about it and I wasn't making it a big priority or part of my personality, but I'm actually very proud of it. Everybody who's ever had my cooking has enjoyed it and has been surprised at just how good I am or surprised to see how much I enjoy cooking. So I do like it. I'd never start a cooking channel or anything, but I like cooking and I enjoy it. I like watching cooking channels, I like trying out new recipes. I have every seasoning known to man. So, yeah. So, that's a whole thing. But between like eating more healthy, getting better sleep, working out, I find that getting back to content creation is not going to be nearly as difficult. And I think it was the thing I needed to fix. Aside from clearing my head by going on a trip, I think the thing I needed to fix to be consistent at content creation again, because I was doing everything else that more or less I'm supposed to be doing with my coaching, my students, all that's been great. My students have been crushing it. I mean, Matt can tell you, Larry, Home Rapid Repair, he's in the academy. He can tell you, coaching's been going great. Everybody's been getting the results. It's been picking up. We've had people come back to the academy or come back to coaching. It's all been working out. They've been getting great views. Um, we have a small channel that we've been working with, Wild Husky House. Multiple viral videos from them on short form, with us working together, and they have like 3,000 subscribers. We just need the subscribers to convert. But like I can like show you the channel. They do great stuff, and we've gotten some viral hits with their channel. And again, you can't always, it's short form. They're gonna eventually working on some stuff for long form, but this channel has 3,000 views. And again, sorry, 3,000 subscribers. They have 3,000 subscribers now. Congratulations to them. Also, that's they were at 2,900. So now that they're over 3,000, that's great. But look at these views. These views for a channel this size are great. And like we've got another million view video that they've managed to achieve. And so it's something that, again, I'm incredibly proud to work with them. They've worked with other people before, but they never had gotten to like a million view video. And now we have multiple million view videos that they've been able to achieve, like for their channel, given their size. That's amazing. So if we sort by most popular and you look at these videos, and again, the worst thing is some people think that these are AI, but no, they just have really great huskies. They have Smokey and Juno, and so they're very real. And again, you can see why these would do well. So this series has been working out tremendously, and so the views are really solid. And these are evergreen, so they can always pick up. But yeah, so we've had some great results in the academy from our members. We've had some returning members that took off for the summer. They're coming back for the fall, and so everything's been going great there. 100-day fitness reset is for my mental health, for my own, and my physical health and energy for my own content. And again, I feel tremendous. I'll be honest with you. When you don't feel like you look your best, it makes it much harder to make content because you're sitting there in the editing bay, you're sitting there on your camera, you're sitting there and all you do is judge yourself and you go, ah, and it's all you can think about. If you already hate the sound of your voice, now you have to not like what you're seeing on screen, just like you don't love what you're seeing in the mirror sometimes. And you go, ah, I know I need to do better. And so it just makes everything harder, right? Makes it showing up consistently the hardest thing in the world. But I'm telling you, even not just from an appearance standpoint, from an energy standpoint, if you could just focus on your physical health, your mental health improves. If you carve out time for your fitness, you'll find that that's also the silence you need away from a screen and away from screen addiction and consumption. The silence. That's the other thing it did for me. I consume less content. I consume less things that are distracting. I don't have the same screen addiction I used to have because the workout time carves out so much time of my day to where I'm just listening to music or I'm just listening to podcast or a motivation thing to get through this workout. Mostly I listen to motivation or audiobooks that are like fantasy audiobooks, or I'm listening to music when I go on my walks, my runs, or my workouts. to just like keep moving or just like be distracted. Or again, sometimes I do it in silence, and the silence is so helpful. I realized how overstimulated we all are, even as content creators. We're consumers, we have to be. But you're so overstimulated that you have no idea how it's wrecking your mental health and your creativity and your ability to focus and do deep work. And I feel so much better because of the positive habits. I know I'm going on and on about this like fitness journey I went on, but I think that more content creators in education and coaching need to encourage you without sounding super preachy about it, that the mental health part that we all scream about, our mental health, it is not divorced from your physical health. You cannot divorce your mental health from your physical health. There is no mental health without taking care of your body. There just isn't. And it will probably be faster and more effective to build positive habits around your body and your lifestyle and have that compound into better overall things that impact your mental health, because you'll realize all these things that you weren't doing right and that were overstimulating you take up your time. You will have a much better what they would call chemical balance when you readjust your diet and you balance your internal pH levels and all these different things, that you can achieve so much more for your mental and emotional health and well-being by just taking better care of your body alone. And that will also create mental habits, like again, less stimulation, less screen time, more silence, less screen time, less stimulation, so on and so forth. Better sleep is the ultimate mental health hack, and you won't have trouble sleeping when you've like properly worked out your body, you've like put in the work there. Sleep will come much easier. So again, highly recommend all of you take it very, very seriously. Yep. um Matt Miller's PC says, "Is lion's mane, ashwagandha, magnesium okay to take in gummy form?" Again, not a health expert here, but in my experience, yes. In my experience, yes. Um, I've gotten to the point to where I can just, pop it in pill form and be fine. For the magnesium, though, I prefer to take the magnesium in liquid form. So I take the magnesium in liquid form, in a something that I drink before I go to bed. So ashwagandha in the morning, lion's mane, usually in late morning or the afternoon work session for me, um, and maybe the L-theanine in the evening session. Creatine before my workout session. Creatine before my workout session for sure. Usually in my water or in my yogurt. Do fermented foods. So sometimes in my lunch or dinner, I'll mix kimchi in my I'll mix kimchi and daikon in my lunch or dinner meal. Um, and I'll do, obviously, in the morning. A lot of times I'll do yogurt. So fermented foods are very good for gut health. I prioritize gut health. Again, I cut down on gluten almost altogether. I do high protein meals. And I also offset protein when I need to with a protein shake or drink, whether homemade or store bought. I go either way with that. So yeah. Oh yeah, no problem. Appreciate you. So yeah. So those are just some things that I found personally actually are incredibly helpful. And again, just to let you know, even what's been going on with me, that's what's like, been going on with me. And so yeah, I'm coming back to consistent content. You can expect more videos. I redid my YouTube banner, if you guys noticed. I redid my YouTube channel banner. I think that the update is pretty slick. I wonder if you guys like it. I think it looks pretty dope personally. Um, and then you can see that I've scheduled the streams. I also, again, did a new style for the Monday monetization streams. Now for the So this is the new channel banner art. I think it looks really good. I also like this positioning. Creator education for serious content creators, like new content each week. So I like that a lot better. We still have the credibility logos, um, YouTube play button, my book, and stuff like that. I think so. I think this like is cleaner. I think this is on brand, and I like this better. I think it pops properly in dark mode. So I do like this one a lot. And then for the thumbnails, we have these thumbnails, and this is an example of the updated thumbnail style for the Monetization Monday stuff. I'm going to be doing, I do like this for the channel reviews. It'll be similar, but it'll be somewhat different. So this is kind of the direction for the channel to review streams thumbnails. So that's going to be pretty dope. I like that. So that's kind of the branding direction that things are going a little bit. And there'll be some variation on that, and there'll be a few things I do differently just depending on what the video is. But I think you guys will like kind of the new look and vibe of things. You saw the channel banner on TV and it's awesome. Yeah, yeah, no. I think it is. I really like it. I like how it came out. So you know, I used most of the base that I had for it in Photoshop, but I changed a few things and I changed some of the proportions and the balancing for it. So there is that. So yeah, I think it looks really good. And I've been also optimizing some things for TV. Actually, with TV in mind, there's something that I'm working on. So there's this thing. I thought there was this thing on YouTube that said shows. I know that there's something that says courses, post. I thought there was this thing that says shows. Maybe that's not live yet, or maybe I haven't rolled it live on my channel yet, but there's supposed to be this thing that says shows, and I've been working on something for that. I did put some like videos into it to see how it would show up on TV. Maybe it only shows up on TV. I don't know. But it's been something I'm working on. I may update the profile pic. I may not. I think this is probably fine. And I think my face is fine in that. We'll see. Maybe I might higher res it if they're letting us do better resolution. Um, I do think that these came out cleaner in terms of just clarity and resolution as well. Because I'm trying to do thumbnails in higher resolution for TV now. So those are just some of the things I've been working on. Yeah, the new you have the shows tab on your channel, but you haven't used it yet. Yeah. So I'm working on that as well. I have the option in YouTube Studio, but I'm just not seeing it show up as a viewer when I'm on the channel right now. So I'm just curious as to what's going on with that with YouTube, but we'll see. I also myself am working on for some of these new updates and new streams. We'll also be uploading these to Spotify for people, especially people who like to listen to them later and stuff like that. So we'll be updating these to Spotify. We'll be getting stuff out besides the live streams being on Facebook. We'll get the replays up on Facebook. We're going to be doing distribution there. So I've worked something out with my friend Jared and somebody he's working with for helping with a little bit of my extra syndication when I'm doing more short form. We'll be publishing that across multiple platforms. So just a lot of stuff going on there and more to come. So that's probably going to be it for tonight. What I'm going to be doing is, like I said, we'll be doing a channel review stream on Friday. And throughout this week, I'm going to try to get you some videos this week and next week around the short versions of these YouTube monetization updates, my calculations and formula for how to achieve it for long form, live streaming, and shorts as quickly as possible. We're going to do everything we can to get more of you monetized in the next 6 months. And also over in Awesome Creator Academy, we're also going to be helping people get their first brand deals. We're going to be doing an intensive workshop around that. Awesome Creator Academy, the pro group, you'll learn more about it at the end of the stream, but we meet twice a week, private sessions. We also have our private group that you can post to and ask questions all week long, anytime, and we will get back to you. We also give you access to all of our digital downloads, all of our previous trainings. You have 100 hours of trainings, and any of our new workshops. I am working on the brand deals course to roll that out. We're also doing brand deals training live. So we're going to be doing that over the next 2 months. So we're going to basically run it almost cohort style. And so that's going to be great. We're going to run you through my entire brand deal system. The goal is to get people who haven't either done brand deals before, their first brand deal, or to help people who've been doing it set up their system to negotiate more, because it's not just, oh, we're going to teach you this, we're going to teach you that. No, you're going to literally build a system. That is your homework. Your homework is you're building this, like, show us what the emails look like, show us what this is, show us your media kit. You're going to be doing actual assignments. You will have project work. So we're running it like a real classroom where you will do the projects. We will be discussing this. So it's that sort of thing. That's even what my cohort is eventually going to also be doing, is everything is going to have a project. I'm going to run it like how I did, as a lot of you are not familiar with, I had an instructor background as a software trainer when I was in corporate America. We did contracts once in a while because we were by a military base. So our company would also do training, and sometimes we do it primarily with the government for contracts for either directly for the soldiers or for another department or something with the military. So we do software training. And so I was an instructor, and we would do these software boot camps, and I was an instructor for that. There was also a very brief period where I would do at this magnet school. I would be a substitute art teacher for this magnet school at one point. So I actually had a education background in addition to my tech background, in addition to my marketing advertising background. I actually was a trainer. So I have formal instruction background. I didn't bother to get a degree in it. You just literally, it's like your training is corporate America. So you do the job, and it's things like that. So I found a system that worked for like getting people through these boot camps, and we would fulfill the contract, and it would work out really well. And so I incorporate a lot of the learnings from that. Things I've also learned talking to traditional educators in terms of running my system for building a lesson plan or a boot camp by them. And so I had actual teachers and college professors vet my methodology over the years. As because the thing is, when I started coaching people, I was very confident in all my information. My key was, what's the proper methodology for making sure that the majority of learners are capable by the time that they leave this? And how do I also verify their capacity, capability to produce a result? And so I actually sat down with educators who had many, many decades of experience and learned quite a lot from them. And that's how I ended up building a lot of the systems that I use to teach, and how I approach frameworks, and how I approach project work and boot camps and so on and so forth. So that was something that I felt was like really important to do, because I felt like a lot of people take information based courses and they think that just learning the material is enough. You must demonstrate and execute and utilize the material. And the thing is, the best way to do that is if you can do that while you still can get feedback from the person, the instructor at the time, then that's one of the mechanisms to ensure that you fully grasp what you've been learning, and that you're applying it properly, and that you're doing the steps that make the most sense in the right order. A lot of times, people, if they try to learn something on their own, they don't do things in the right order. They don't implement, they don't execute, and they don't refine, and they don't audit what they did. So there's all kinds of things that formal education does have its benefits. There are things that it misses out on. And just watching videos on YouTube has its limitations and shortcomings for how you learn. When you can not only watch, listen to, or read material, but you can engage with it and have discussions with other like minded people about the material, you learn better. When you can see a hands on demonstration of the material being utilized by someone who has experience, aka watch a demo from your instructor, you learn better. When you yourself can practice implementing the material, but then also get feedback on what you implemented from your professor or from the other students, then you learn better. When you can see what a finished result from other people look like, and then look at your finished result, and you can do some analysis on that or some comparison, you learn better. So a more holistic approach to learning and doing it cooperatively with other people, I'm someone who learns very well on their own. I'm an autodidactic learner, but I found that even I do better with cooperative group learning and being able to interact with other people. So it's something that I think we as creators take for granted. And we make this thing can be lonely, but we make it lonelier than it needs to be by just not putting ourselves in positions to connect with other creators and be part of workshops, groups, go to events, go to conferences. When I wanted to become a better photographer, and you guys know how much I love camera gear, I went to workshops in person myself, even as an adult. I went to sometimes I speak at this event, but a lot of times I'll go just as an attendee. I go to Shutterfest in St. Louis. So I go to St. Louis and I go to Shutterfest. Sal Sincata puts it on from Shutter Magazine. And so I went there to become better at photography, especially off camera flash for doing off camera flash and becoming much better at portraiture. I wanted to do that. And so I went to Shutterfest to learn from other people, to get feedback, to do portfolio work in real time. And it was great. It was a great experience. It's always great every time I go. But I went specific last time I went to learn off camera flash because I felt confident with on-camera flash. I felt confident with control lighting, but I wanted to figure out more about portable photography setups for off-camera flash, um, syncing to multiple units, doing all those things. Um, that was something I felt like no amount of like YouTube tutorials was going to compare to doing it in the field and having other people correct me or watch my work and seeing how my shots were coming out and telling me feedback in real time that would actually know and testing different equipment in my own hands. So that was just a phenomenal experience. In person is probably the best, but then virtual is the next best thing. And I would say that the least like best thing or the best like thing you can do solo is if you have to, but it's not ideal. You know what I'm saying? So like we make this lonelier than it needs to be, and there's a lot of reasons for it, but it doesn't have to be that way. And I think that I wish that for the East Coast there were more events because like it's a pain to always have to go to the West Coast for everything or go to New York for everything. I wish the South and I wish the East Coast had more events. A lot of events went away after the pandemic. If people can figure out some way to bring back creator events to the East Coast, that'd be amazing because I really think it's lacking in the community, and I'd love to see more of that. Yeah, check out creatorscorecards.com. I'm still working on it. We're going to be doing a migration at the end of the week because Manus and Meta, their merger didn't work out because of China. So I am going to be doing a migration on the VPS server, but I'm going to try to do it at a time that won't interrupt service for people. And hopefully it'll be so clean that nobody notices. But we're in the middle of like a migration now. So you can check out Creator Scorecards, or you guys can wait until September because by the end of August, we'll be done with the migration. So, but I'm going to just try to do it in a way where it doesn't interrupt your service just because Manus and Meta, aka Facebook, are doing their thing and it's interrupting me. I'm going to try to make sure it doesn't interrupt you guys. That's the main reason I just haven't been pushing creator scorecards this week is because we just got the news last week from Manus. But it'll be fine. And again, the site's currently working and functional. We're cloning everything over to my private VPS server, which I get with Hostinger. So Hostinger is great. They've been a fantastic web hosting partner, the easiest one that I've used in years. So if you plan to do websites, build apps, or host anything on your own server, I'm going to highly recommend them. I'm going to drop a link for them in the description for you guys. Just give me a minute to pull that link. But yeah, they've been amazing throughout my migration process. And I've almost finished like getting everything neat. I just need to put in things like the API keys and stuff like that to get the software fully armed and operational software over on the VPS side. But yeah. Um yeah, it's been great. Let's see. Dump dump. Green Acres is the place to be. So yeah. So those are things I've been working on. Let's see. Oh, and like I said, channel review streams definitely coming back on Fridays. Where's that link? Sorry, I'm just trying to get the link for you guys if you guys want to do that. Let's see. I'll just add the link to the description later because it's taking forever for me to find it for whatever reason. But yeah. Are we starting the Academy thing tomorrow? We'll be starting it the first week of September, but you'll be able to start asking questions because we need 2 weeks to promo it, me and Andy. So, but you can ask any questions, Matt, in the Academy that you want about brand deals in the meantime as we lead up to that. But we'll officially be announcing it next week and we'll be launching it the first week in September. There's something for the show. You can see it in the studio. Okay, cool. Yes, we need more creator events on the East Coast and on the South. Absolutely. Yep. But yeah, definitely make sure you guys are checking out awesomecreatoracademy.com. We will see you back here Friday for channel reviews. And don't forget, this week between today and Friday, I will be dropping hopefully at least 1 or 2 videos on the new monetization updates to get you all the facts now that we actually have all the facts. And we got clarification from YouTube on some things. And, excuse me, covering this new views measurement update that they just did and what it actually means. So we'll be having those videos come out, plus another live stream for you on Friday. In the meantime, you guys, stay awesome, take care, and at the end of the stream, of course, you're going to learn more about Awesome Creator Academy. If you want to do group coaching or you don't want to do one-on-one coaching with me, we're going to get you all the details. All right, you guys, have a great night. Take care. Becoming a content creator can be a very lonely process and adventure, but it doesn't have to be. When I first got started going from 0 to 100,000 subscribers, I had to do it all by myself. I didn't have a community of like-minded and like-hearted creators to talk to or to ask for advice, and I certainly didn't have a mentor to guide me along the way. I built the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group because when I was getting started, what would have meant the world to me is not to have to struggle alone when it comes to being a full-time content creator. If I had had a community of creators that I could talk to and share information with, I would have avoided a lot of mistakes in my early career, and there would have been opportunities with brand deals where I would have gotten a better understanding of how to negotiate, and I wouldn't have undersold myself. I wouldn't have been taken advantage of in those early situations. So in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group, myself and our co-instructor Andy Rivera, we meet twice a week for office hours with our creators, and we share information, we talk about how we're building our creator businesses, and we offer constructive criticism and critique on the things that we're working on for our projects. You'll be part of a community of usually around 100 like-minded creators who are taking this seriously just like you are. You'll also have all access as a pro group member to all of our past, present, and future courses, training, templates, digital downloads, and swipe files. You have full access to our creator blueprints where you'll see our systems and the frameworks that we use to execute. You know, you always fall or rise to the standard of your systems. A lot of people really underestimate how important that is. We have digital download templates that can help you so you don't have to start with a blank canvas. These done for you files are actually incredibly helpful, especially for things like your thumbnails, your media kits, and anything you need for your branding as a content creator to look professional. We have email swipe files that help you with reaching out to brands. We have great information in helping you price yourself and build your packages appropriately. And remember, as part of the pro group, you have the opportunity to ask questions from myself and all the other creators participating. And so this means that if you need to ask questions about a negotiation or a brand deal, there's something you're not sure about, you're trying to find a better monetization opportunity with merch or affiliates, you have people who have done it before, who are already making money, that you can reach out to for advice. As I said, when I was starting out and I was flying solo, this is the thing that I wish I'd had the opportunity to be a part of, and it would have made all the difference in the world in helping me be an even more successful content creator. If you have questions, you can always reach out via support. We're happy to help you figure out if the pro group is right for you. Also, we do have the opportunity for you to become a VIP member if you also would like quarterly one-on-one coaching with me directly. Now go out there and create something awesome today, and hopefully we'll see you in the pro group. Take care.